demonic possessions and exorcisms caught on camera, a ghostly entity in an old abandoned hospital, a Serbian dancing lady. These are evil spirits that were caught on camera possessing humans. So this first clip is just downright terrifying, even putting aside validity. If it's fake, there's some serious talent here, and if it's real, yikes. Not sure I want to live in this world anymore. There's not a whole lot of info behind this video, but the story supposedly goes that in 1973, the footage was discovered in the attic of a newly bought house in Iowa. It shows what appears to be the possession of a man, but his identity is unknown. The video is pretty effective. The man acts in such an unpredictable way, and his body has clearly taken on this horrific exorcist-like form, but of course there's a lot of doubt about whether the video is real or not. I'm just here to share and let y'all come to your own conclusions, but as an avid horror fan, I really appreciate this one nonetheless. An urban explorer in Indonesia was checking out an old abandoned hospital one night when he spotted this friendly-looking lady. I'd have been out of there well before the neck-bending part even happened. Just F that. What is it about someone just sitting alone with their back to you in the dark that's so freaking disturbing? I guess it's just that primal part of our brains sending us alarm bells because we can't see the person's face. Therefore, we can't get a clear sense of their intentions. And of course, someone just chilling alone in a pitch black room doing anything but sleeping or meditating raises some red flags as well. Even before he spots the woman, he hears her making some odd noises. Take a look here. Would you have stuck around to see who was making the noise? Would you have been out of there? Or would you never have been walking through an abandoned hospital alone at night in the first place? Let me know down in the comments. Now, just what exactly is happening to this woman's face? The woman in the clip is Debbie Berman, a ghost hunter who, along with her colleagues, were carrying out an investigation in one of Britain's most haunted houses, known as The Cage, in St. Osyth Village in Essex. The Cage is a historic building. It was once used as a prison for women accused of witchcraft in the Elizabethan era. 8 women died there. The investigators decided to spend a cold December night in the former witch jail, and while they were in the reportedly most haunted room in the house, the master bedroom, at about 3 a.m., they captured the footage you just saw. She was unrecognizable. What I saw shook me to my core, said Brad Mack, the head investigator. Now, after the incident, Debbie started complaining that her back felt like it was burning. And to the rest of the team's horror, she pulled up her jacket, revealing 4 long scratches on her back. This has become a pretty famous clip, and it's easy to see why. That face, it's freaky. That grin, the whited out eyes, the dark around them. And the thing is, the rest of the people around here looked relatively normal, so this is an interesting one. Could totally be a trick of the light and just poor camera quality, but still freaky all the same. In 1991, a very controversial episode of ABC's 2020 aired, The Exorcism of a Girl Named Gina in Florida. For those who believe in demonic possession, the broadcast was traumatizing, and for people who aren't so sold on the angels and demon stuff, the whole thing just seemed exploitative and uncomfortable. Because unless the whole thing was a hoax, this girl was clearly going through some stuff. Now, looking back at the video now, it does have an unsettling vibe about it, whether you believe in demonic possession or not. I mean, it's got that old footage quality to it. The context is just unsettling. Now, the story is that basically church officials said she had been plagued by demonic spirits and an exorcism was granted. 2 priests carried out the exorcism. One was simply credited as Priest A. The other was Reverend James Labar, who said the broadcast would bring, quote, hope to those who may be afflicted. Now, a few days after this exorcism, Gina ended up in a psychiatric hospital, but thankfully she was eventually released. We don't know what happened to her after that, but I'd like to think she went on to lead a happy, normal life out of the public eye. Holy crap, what is this? I don't know where this video was filmed, I don't know who filmed it, but I do know I've seen one like it. I've shared it on the channel before, so you might recognize this creature as well. Whatever this thing is though, I just hate it. Pure nightmare fuel. I don't think my heart could handle it if I was roaming around at night and saw that peeking out at me from around a corner. Like, why is it chomping like that? Was it a piranha? It's like if you gave a demonic entity some like super sketchy pills. The Serbian dancing lady. So rather than just one video, this is something of a phenomenon. So there are tons of videos that have been shown online of Serbian dancing lady sightings, some of which are laughably bad, while others make the hair on the back of your neck stand up. The Serbian dancing lady has become something of an urban legend in Serbia. You're walking alone late at night on an empty street when suddenly you see something completely out of place. It's a woman dancing, but she's all alone. Who is she? Why is she doing this? There's not even any music playing. Just a dark, quiet night. As you continue to stare in bewilderment and confusion, you start to get this deeply uneasy feeling in the pit of your stomach. Maybe you found this odd sight a little amusing at first, but as she continues this rhythmic hopping, you just know something's wrong. But just when you're about to turn and leave, she stops. She knows you're there, but it's not embarrassment she's feeling. She wanted you to see her. Suddenly, she turns her head, revealing her ghoulish, inhuman face before pulling out a blade, and before you have time to think, she's rushing towards you. The first Serbian dancing lady sighting happened in September of 2019, outside a hospital in Zvezdara. Not only had she been dancing alone, she'd also been threatening people with a blade. She was captured on camera and the video went viral on TikTok, spawning a whole bunch of copycat videos. But the original wasn't a hoax. Police did search for the woman, but she was never found, and thus a new urban legend was born. This video claims to be a real piece of demonic possession footage. We hear a man off camera conducting an exorcism on a woman named Maria, as the person behind the camera films her saying some absolutely wild stuff and making even wilder facial expressions. Some of it's pretty freaky, other parts are actually kinda hilarious. Take a look. This part, kinda freaky. This part, kinda hilarious. Constipated, just sprinkle some fiber in that holy water. We'll get better results. She also kind of looks like she's possessed by maybe like a pirate, like kind of like that kind of face. This next clip supposedly shows two men attempting to exorcise a djinn out of a girl's body. Don't know if you caught it that first time, but watch the way like her eyes roll into the back of her head before she, I don't know what you'd call that, like a hiss? It's pretty freaky. Now, if you're not familiar with the word djinn, djinns are supernatural beings from ancient Middle Eastern beliefs. They're believed to be spirits that can actually be good or evil. And in many stories, djinns have magical powers and can shapeshift or grant wishes. They're mentioned in various religious texts, including the Quran. Some people think djinns are similar to ghosts or demons, but they are their own distinct type of spirit. They're often said to also be the ones responsible for sitting on your chest in the middle of the night, a sleep paralysis demon, essentially. This is a clip taken from an interview that was part of one of the most famous paranormal investigations in history, the Enfield poltergeist case, which was the inspiration for the 2016 movie The Conjuring 2. In 1978, a documentary was filmed for the BBC by reporter Rosalind Morris, who visited this family on multiple occasions. The following is a short piece of an interview with Janet Hodgson, who was supposedly possessed by an entity that she referred to as Bill.
No.
Who's there?
Doctor.
She would have made a really sick black metal vocalist. Now, for some context, in Enfield, London, the Hodgson family began experiencing strange and frightening events in their home. It started with some small things, knocking sounds and furniture moving on its own, but things apparently escalated. They reported seeing objects flying around the room, and the daughters, Janet and Margaret Hodgson, claimed they were being thrown out of bed. And famously, Janet began to speak in that deep, raspy voice that was not her own. Then Ed and Lorraine Warren got involved, and they, along with other investigators, were adamant that this house was haunted by what they called a poltergeist. Now, of course, skeptics said the whole thing was just a total hoax, and that Janet and Margaret were trolling everyone. But all the same, the Enfield poltergeist is still one of the most talked about cases in paranormal history. This footage is taken of Father Gabriel Amorth's last exorcism. If you don't know who Gabriel Amorth is, then you just don't know your exorcisms, and you gotta get more up to date on that if you want to be in the scene. Gabriel Amorth is the arena rock star of exorcisms, in that he's done a lot of them, and he's rather famous for it. Now, while the validity of this clip is dubious, I think it is worth talking about this guy's career. He claims to have performed a mind-blowing 60,000 exorcisms during his career, but he didn't just do it alone. He joined forces with 5 other priests, and together they formed the International Association of Exorcists in 1994. They were a full-on ghoul hunting crew. Amorth was so dedicated to his job that he'd reportedly knock out around 5 exorcisms before even having lunch. But all the street-level demons he exorcised were nothing compared to one he faced off against in 1997. Father Amorth came face to face with the big boss himself, Satan. Yes, the devil himself made a cameo during one of his exorcisms. According to the story, Satan decided to pop out of a possessed Italian man that Amorth had been exorcising. After that, he became a legend in the world of exorcisms and his supposed encounters with the supernatural. With all that said, I've been your host, James, and I'll catch you, yes you specifically, in the next video.